He's getting older.
I can't see you though, bitch.
Oh, hit the volume button.
But not wiser.
He's got AIDS.
This is the Lefty Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Lefty Show, episode number 20. Let's get to it really quick. Come on, load up. 23. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lefty Show. I'm your host, Lefty. Glad to be here. Glad to be putting on a show for all of you here today. I hope you all enjoy. Today is Wednesday, May 28th, in the year of our spaghetti monster, 2014. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for watching, liking, favoriting, and subscribing on YouTube, helping my channel and the podcast grow there. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing the show with your friends, families, and maybe your coworkers. Thank you for helping, for doing that, and thank you for continuing to do that and helping the show grow in a grassroots movement kind of way. Thank you to everybody that's been donating. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. That's I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. There is a link in the description. Go ahead and click on that if you want to donate, help out the cause with studio costs, hosting costs, all that kind of stuff. It's there for you. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. Link in the description. Go ahead and check it out. Been going, as I said in a previous episode, been going around with my pops. My old man was spending time with my dad, and I think if you spend time with your parents, especially if you're like me and an atheist, it's important, I think, to place your spending time with loved ones, not just your parents, but spending time with them pretty high on the list of things to do. And don't be afraid of dropping everything to go, hang out with them, spend time with them, whether it's grabbing breakfast or lunch or something, or in my case, my dad called me again, wanted to go look at another car, and he wanted me to pick him up and drive him. So that if he got a car, he could drive it back, so he got his car, and it's 2013. It's a model year newer. Spent about $4,000 more on a Mazda Miata, and it looks fantastic, right? It's great. And we had to drive out to this dealership. It wasn't far away from where I'm at, and picked him up and we drove out there, and it was cool. Spending time with him, and again, going through, talking to the dealership, kicking the tires on the car and stuff. And the saleswoman, she had to be like a 20-something. I don't know where in the 20s she was, and I don't know, maybe I am a misogynist. Maybe I am, because the entire time I couldn't help but think, this is selling cars is a male-dominated world. And a lot of the guys, it's not really alpha male, but they like to pretend that they're alpha male selling cars. Gonna do it, mover and shaker, and I'm making money. And I was like, I really want to know how often this poor woman gets hit on. I really want to know how many times this poor girl has to hear lewd remarks about her from guys that think they're fucking alpha males, right up there with an NFL linebacker. Like, yeah, fucking strutting around in the locker room after a game. But no, you're just fucking selling cars, you jackass. But I want to know, this is not to say anything about her sexuality per se, but just I wonder how many times she's had to deal, certainly customers hitting on her. That was not me, of course, but certainly customers doing that. The thing, and that's that comes with the territory. But I wonder how many times from coworkers, from guys who think they're incredible alpha males, they're like, "Oh, hey, baby," at the company Christmas party or something, right? They're trying to get her drunk and have sex with her, and I felt bad. I mean, she gave me no indication that I should feel bad for her, but I just assumed that other men around her were going to be absolute fucking jackasses, and her existence in that world, I would assume, is a painful one because, again, guys think that they're an NFL linebacker in terms of testosterone level, and they're just, yeah, hey, baby, you want to go grab... I just felt bad the whole time, and I tried to be as, not even... I didn't even want to give her the time of day, not because I wanted to be a jackass. First of all, my dad was running the negotiation. I had no dog in that fight. I was just the chauffeur and somebody to just give a second opinion and make sure nothing was forgotten. That was my role. And so I didn't want to steal the show necessarily, but also I didn't want to look at this girl because I was like, I don't even want her to think that there's a possibility that I'm eyeing her up for anything. Because, again, maybe it was bad on my part, but I had just assumed that that's her life. That's her existence in that job, is being eyed up by coworkers, by customers, etc. And I just didn't want to pile on to that. So I tried to not even make eye contact. Again, not because I thought less of her, not because I thought she was ugly, not because I didn't like her for any reason, but just, I didn't want to pile on. I didn't want to make her think, oh God, here's another jackass. Like, hey, who you doing? Not that I would do that. But I just didn't want to add on to what must be, or what I assume to be, is a rough existence. And I don't know, maybe she just thought I was antisocial. Maybe she just thought I was fucked up, which is fine. I mean, I am fucked up, but I don't know, maybe a little bit in that way. But speaking of antisocial, we as a society are becoming more and more antisocial. And we are finding more and more reasons to not go outside, reasons to not go this way or that way. Hold on, I gotta close the window in the studio. Some jackass is mowing his lawn. Hold on. All right, we're back. So, we're becoming more and more antisocial as a society, and again, finding reasons to not go outside, finding reasons to not go to the store. Right? Amazon has everything from, Amazon's got fucking groceries now. Right? It used to be back in the day. There was a service called Peapod, and we'll get to that in a bit. But back in just everything about our society is becoming more antisocial. Everybody at a dinner is on their phones. You see a family at dinner, you are way more likely now to see them engrossed in their handheld devices than you are seeing them engaged in discussion. Right? They're checking Facebook or the mom or dad is on like a business call or texting people or something, and they're doing other things, Twitter, whatever. And speaking of handheld devices, I have a Samsung Galaxy S4, and there is no shit a talk to text button. There is no bullshit. No bullshit. I can be sending a text to somebody and say and have it do talk to text. Here, I'll try to send a message to see if I can send a text to Katie here. Recording the Lefty show right now. And I can just send a text, right? Oh shit, it's still recording everything I say. I should probably just send this text message. Oh, it doesn't do laughing. Okay, see, so it does work. It does work very well. I'm just going to delete it. I'm not even going to send it. But I thought, cool technology, right? The ability for software to hear the human voice and in multiple languages, I'm assuming, go to a library and parse the sounds and turn them into words. It's really cool, right? And it's not really hands-free, but it's a pretty cool technology. But as applied to text messages, I was thinking, because I've got larger thumbs, and so with the layout of the keyboard on this phone, I routinely hit the fucking button, the little microphone button that turns it into talk to text mode, and I don't want to do it, but I get pissed off. I'm like, son of a bitch. And I was struck one day. I said, wait a minute, I'm sending a text message, and there's an option here right next to the space bar where you can talk to your phone, and it turns your words into text so that you can send it to a specific recipient, right? This isn't like Facebook posting. This isn't a tweet. This is, I am sending this message to this one person, right? And I instead of texting, instead of typing it out on the keyboard, I am going to talk into my phone so that I can communicate with this person. What else does that? Just make a fucking phone call. We don't call anybody anymore. Nobody calls anybody on the fucking phone anymore. It's to the point where we are so against calling people, we'll talk into our phones. We will. But for the purposes of having the software, turn it into text message so that we can send a text to the person and not have an ongoing conversation, not having an ongoing discussion, an ongoing discourse, right? We communicate. We are a series of people, or we are a society of people that communicate through Twitter, or communicate through liking or disliking Facebook or Reddit posts or whatever else, liking or disliking YouTube videos. That's how we communicate now. There are friends on Facebook who only communicate passive aggressively through posts. Somebody offers up something, I blah 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 today, and somebody likes the post. Do they call each other on the fucking phone? No, they don't. They might text each other. They might even talk into their phone for the purposes of communicating a message to that other person, but they don't fucking call them. How more antisocial can you get? Like, I really want to send you this message, but I don't want to talk to you. I will even use my phone as a device that is used to in its capacity to turn the analog signal of my voice into digital information. I will use it in that capacity, but it's not going to be in a fucking phone call. It's going to be in a voice to text message that I send you. That's going to be how I communicate with you. It's going to be in a voice to Facebook post that you can like or not like. Fuck having a conversation with you. Fuck that. Fuck being in a call, talking to somebody. No. Voice to text message. Now, speaking of antisocial behavior, so going to this dealership with my dad, we were driving down the street, and I see. I mentioned earlier there was a service called not Podbean. Oh shit! What was it called? I gotta Google it now. I think I may have said Podbean earlier, but that's not what it was. Peapod, that's what it was. Peapod, not Podbean. Peapod. Peapod was a service. Gained popularity in the late 90s when the internet rose to prominence. And what you could do is, if you signed up for the Peapod service, you could order groceries and have them delivered to you. You didn't have to go to the store. You could go online or even call them, I think, and for a service fee, maybe it was a subscription-based service, I'm not sure, probably both. For some fee, you could go online, order your groceries, and they would be delivered to you, and you could set it up recurring, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And okay, I mean, I get the milkman has been around since the 1940s, right? The prospect of the milkman, and that fell out of prominence with, I don't even know what caused the downfall of that. But the milkman was a thing. So this is just a next generation of the milkman. I get it. Okay, you get your groceries delivered. You can get a lot of fresh produce instead of having to go with processed or frozen foods. Okay, cool. Totally see the practicality of it. But here's what I saw yesterday. I saw a Peapod pickup site. Okay? Yes, it was a brick and mortar store Peapod pickup site. That is how it was built. That was the fucking sign. So, Peapod is still around and in business. Okay? So they're still delivering groceries. You can see the trucks out and about once in a while. Not as much as you used to, but they're still around. So, Peapod is still in service delivering groceries, but what you can do is order groceries and have them delivered to a Peapod pickup site, and then you can go there and pick up your groceries at your leisure, right? Just go to the fucking store. What in the fuck is? I don't mean to sound like a curmudgeon-y old man, but come the fuck on. Does anybody? I hope everybody that walks into that store, and I know people are going to think you're going to die. You hope they die. No. I hope everybody that walks in that store realizes how fucking silly it is to order groceries and have them delivered to a site so that you can go and pick them up. Just go to the fucking store like a normal fucking human being. Yeah, you do have to deal with assholes at the store. You do have to deal with the people at the checkout register who might kind of smell funny. Or the guy that's trying to talk to you and he's bagging your groceries. Right, that's called normal fucking human social interaction. It's good for you. But no, we order groceries, and instead of having them delivered to us, really the only practical purpose, have them delivered to another site, a brick and mortar store that we go to and pick them up from. Just go to the fucking store. Go to the grocery store. Call somebody on the fucking phone. I don't even want to hear I'm going to punch somebody in the next person I see using talk to text to send a text message, I'm going to punch in the fucking face. Call the person on the goddamn phone. Stop liking their Facebook posts. All right? Stop eviting people. All this bullshit. Call them on a goddamn phone. Landline. Find one. They're still around. You may have to go to a hotel, but call somebody on a goddamn landline phone and have a real conversation with people. We are a society that is trending so quickly. It's got to be an exponential curve towards antisocial behavior, towards a reclusive society. We are a society of reclusives. We don't want anything to do with each other except in small bits and bytes, except in small little liking your Facebook post, sending out a tweet, sending a text message, but never talking on the fucking phone, never going to shop at the goddamn store to get something, hold it in your hands. No, fuck that. Podbean. Or not Podbean, Peapod. Yeah, I'm going to sign up for that service. Okay, you want them delivered to your home? Nah, I might have to talk to the delivery guy. Why don't you just put them in this little place? I'll go pick them up. We are a society of autistic people. They say it's a spectrum. Autism is a spectrum disorder, but I want to make the argument that we are all, in some ways, a little bit autistic. We are all kind of fucked up in that regard because you see it everywhere. You see overt antisocial and passive-aggressive behavior everywhere in our society now. Nobody wants to talk to anybody anymore. Nobody wants to have an open-ended conversation with anybody anymore where somebody has to make a social decision or act in a social way in terms of prolonging a conversation, thinking about where to go next, maybe asking somebody about their fucking lives. But instead of doing all that, we use talk to text to send text messages. Okay? We use Peapod to deliver groceries to some site where we go to pick them up instead of going to that's going to the fucking store. But we don't want to do that because we might have to deal with other people. No. We are all a little bit autistic. All of us. Some are a lot more autistic, but all of us in our society, and we're allowing it, and we are continuing it with the pervasiveness of now everything's smart, everything's Wi-Fi, everything can do this and to be on your door tomorrow morning. You don't got to talk to anybody. And that's how we're trending. And we are trending towards an extremely, extremely antisocial society. A society where nobody wants to talk to anybody except in a digital medium that is not open-ended. Text messages are just quick, succinct, right? And they're closed-ended. The text starts and it ends. There's not a conversation because you are free to not answer a text message. You just say, oh, well, I left my phone, I was taking a shit, whatever. But if you're on the phone with somebody and you feel that awkwardness coming on, you feel the walls closing in because whatever reason, right? The conversation is going a place you don't want it to go, whatever. Regardless of the reasoning, you can't just stop talking to somebody. You can't just leave and be like, oh, yeah, sorry, I left. You've got to, even getting out of a phone conversation is a social act. You've got to find a bullshit reason. I hope everybody's still got a go-to move. Everybody's got a go-to move in terms of getting off of the phone. You know, you take a deep breath, you go, you feel the conversation, the other person kind of tailing off in what they're saying, right? They're just na-da-da, na-na-na. And you can usually tell because the pauses between words get longer, and da-da-da, and right? And that sound, that cadence, and that tone on the end of a sentence lets you know, oh, that's the end of a sentence. Okay. Then you go, all right, well, that's my go-to one, right? That's tried and true. That's that's Old Faithful for me. I just go, yeah. All right, well, because, and that lets you know, I hope everybody still has a go-to get off the phone move. And that's a social move. It's like a dance move or a play. Think of interacting socially. That's what would be a good sport. I want to say football, but football is competitive and social interactions are really not competitive, really. I don't know, ballet, all right? Ballet or some kind of dance. Think of it as interpretive dance. And your get off the phone move is a dance move. It can be eloquent or it can just be a bludgeoning poof, click. You know, and you could go, all right, well, I'll talk to you later. I got to go. Or you can start having a conversation with somebody that's not there. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm doing something. I'm doing something right now. But my go-to move, again, is all right, well, I'll talk to you. I got to get going. I'll talk to you later. And that ends it. But you have to move. You have to enact your little dance move even when you're getting off of the phone, when you're ending a conversation with somebody, because the end of the sentence doesn't mean the end of the conversation. But in a texting format, in a digital format, instant messaging or again, texting or Facebook messaging or whatever the fuck, you don't have to do any of that. You don't have to have a move. It's not even interpretive dance. It is the coldest form of social interaction. It's just the absolute exchange of information, the exchange of words. That's it. There's no nuance. There's nothing. I mean, emoticons, but there's no nuance, no nothing to that. It's just my words, your words, my words, your words, my words, your words, your words, your words, my words, your words, your words, done. And that's it. And we're trending towards that. Everybody's doing it. It's the primary way we communicate now. The primary way many people communicate is over a digital medium that's not open-ended. It's not a phone call. It's not a social dance. We don't socially dance anymore. And I think it's because we're all a little bit afraid of it. We all feel uncomfortable, and because of our technological advancements, we no longer have to put ourselves in that uncomfortable situation. Because you've all I worked at a grocery store when I was my first job. I was 15, I think. Yeah, I was 15. I turned 16 quickly, got a car, and I was able to drive myself to work. But for a while, I was 15, bagging groceries. And I worked with these people. I wasn't one of these people. I mean, I'm fucked up, but We all know that supermarkets, especially big chain supermarkets, for just grocery baggers or cart wranglers, odds are, if you go into a supermarket at peak hours, one of the people bagging your groceries is, how to put this delicately, is developmentally disabled. They're disabled. Some person bagging your groceries has some form of developmental disability, and it's great that the supermarkets do that, and it's a menial job, and I've worked with these people, and they do it well, cart wrangling well, all that stuff, and they do it, and they do the jobs. They're on time for work, and they don't get into trouble, and they do their job. That's the perfect employee you want. They get paid just like everybody else. I never asked to see their paycheck, so I don't know how much they make, because that's their business, not mine. But we've all had that on the reverse side when you're a customer and you're going through the supermarket and a developmentally disabled person is bagging your groceries, and they try to start talking to you. And they try to start having a conversation with you about something. And that's uncomfortable. It just is. And all of you have felt that uncomfort. All of you have, if you've gone to a supermarket and dealt with this. Don't even try to give me the bullshit of, oh, no, I talk to them all the time. They're my friends. No, bullshit. It's fucking uncomfortable because you don't know what to say. It's uncomfortable when it's a normal person. They say, hey, how you doing? I'm like, good. How about them Blackhawks, huh? Yeah, they're losing. Yeah, I hope they win. Yeah, me too. I hope they win. I hope they win and not lose. Winning would be great. Losing would be bad. Yeah, losing's bad. Losing is bad. How about them Bears? Same thing. Hope they win. Would be sad if they lose. That would suck. Yeah. And that's normal, but it's uncomfortable because it's just like, I don't want to have a conversation with you. I'm here to buy my groceries, not to talk to you. And there's even more pressure when the person is developmentally disabled, and that pressure turns into to discomfort. You feel discomfort when trying to have a forced, awkward conversation. Now, because of our technological advancements, we don't have to deal with stuff like that anymore. Everybody has had that awkward phone pause where you don't have anything to say. Nobody has anything to say, but nobody wants to end the conversation. So you both just kind of sit there and think of bullshit things. You try to think of topics that you can bring up that will end quickly and get you to the end of the conversation. You think, oh, man, if I start talking about my family, this thing's going to go on for fucking ever. Damn it. All right, what else can I do? Can I talk about, hey, how about them Blackhawks, huh? Yeah. You constantly your brain goes into overdrive, and you try to find that one little conversation starter that will be, you say it, they respond, then you say, all right, well, I got to get going. But you don't want to be the first one to end the conversation. You want to make it seem like it progressed naturally towards the end. And that can be discomforting. And so, to remove that discomfort from our lives, we develop text messaging. But sometimes texting with both hands or with a single hand can be hard. So what have we done? Well, let's talk into the phone, and it'll turn it into a text message. Just call them on the motherfucking phone. Call them. Come on. What are you doing? And I know somebody's going to say, well, texting while driving. Well, fucking call them then, too. Calling still works. You're still distracted. You're impaired either way. I would assume that when you're trying to talk into your phone to text somebody, you're just as impaired as when you're having a fucking conversation with them. Call them on the phone. But we don't do that because, that might be uncomfortable. There may be discomfort. There may be things that happen during that conversation that make me feel uncomfortable, so I'm not going to do it. We're a society of antisocial people. We don't want to deal with one another, but we want to seem like we care. We want to seem like we're there, but not really there to the point where we might be asked to do something or lend advice or help in some way. We don't want to do that, but we want everybody else to think that we're a nice person and we're helping out our friend or family or whatever. So we try to be close, but not too close, because if you get too close, you might be asked to do something that you don't want to do, or you might be put in an uncomfortable situation. And so we try to elongate that difference. We try to be as close as we can, or bring those two things together, as close as we can, but not too close. We try to right up there, as close as we can, but not over this line. And we're just and it results in ridiculous things. Our reliance on not being, or our reliance on antisocial behavior results in ridiculous things, like going to pick up your fucking groceries that you ordered online from a store. Yeah, just go to the store. And it's ridiculous. And it's trending. And I think pretty soon we're all going to be able to say that we're all just a little bit, at the very least, just a little bit, all of us are autistic. Let's get into a little would you rather. Got a little news to cover after this segment, and we'll wrap up the show. Would you rather be in jail for a year or live in complete isolation in the mountains for a year? This is a good question. You know, so I've got to stay there, right? I'm assuming that if I try to come down from the mountains, I'm going to be put in jail for the rest of the time, for the rest of the year. But I would probably rather live in the mountains, because jail, fuck, even prison, I mean, it doesn't matter. But when you're talking about jail, you're usually talking about a county jail, which is different from a penitentiary in ways that I can't really articulate at this point. But being in jail and being in a penitentiary is just it's not a fun existence. I mean, you have clothes, you got a bed, you've got 3 squares a day. I get it. Sometimes you might even have cable TV, but you don't have even the option to do what you want to do. Or, put differently, you don't have the wide range of options to do whatever you want, even if you won't do them. Right? Right now, I have the freedom to strip down naked and run around. I'm not going to, necessarily, maybe. But I'm not going to. But the choice, having that choice there, knowing that, yes, if I wanted to, I could this. I choose not to, but I could if I wanted to. That all changes in jail. I mean, yeah, I can. I mean, I guess I'm assuming that you can't whack off in your cell as much as you want. You might be able to, but you can't just be like, you know what, right now it's happening. You can't. You can't think, you know what, I'm kind of hungry. I'm going to go get some chips or something. I think I'm going to go get a little hummus, maybe a soda, water maybe, refill my coffee, whatever. You can't do it. That doesn't exist in jail. Yeah, you've got clothes, a bed, 3 squares a day, and indoor plumbing. Yeah, I get it. But sometimes it's not just about the material things, or even the hierarchy of needs, but having the ability to say, I choose this for myself, and if I wanted to choose that, I easily could. Sometimes that's enough. But, or sometimes, at least for me, that is the ranking, that ranks higher than, okay, you are going to give up a whole bunch of your freedoms that you have, and you're going to be in jail. You're going to have these things, some kind of interaction with humans, et cetera, but you're not going to be able to do what you want whenever you want, and your life is extremely, for an entire year, your life is extremely regimented and frankly dangerous, man. Because think about it, in a jail, in a county jail, where do they put the murderers that they arrest? A guy murders 5 people, right? Where do they put him? The fucking county jail. There's a gang shootout. The last guy standing just shot up 15 people, or just drive by, chased down by cops, and they arrest him. That he doesn't immediately go to prison. He's got a right to a trial by a jury of his peers, just like anybody else. So when he's arrested, they throw him in jail. And I didn't do anything. I'm just some guy. I'm on some bullshit charge in here for a year, but here's a gangbanger who is not afraid to kill people. And it's just me and him and others like him. And that's scary, man. I think I'd rather go into the mountains for a little bit and choose to run around naked whenever I want. Here's a question. Would you rather have always messy, unkempt hair or always have stains on your clothes? Messy, unkempt hair, because that's a style. Messy, unkempt is a style unto itself today. So you can spin always messy, unkempt hair into a style, but it's never been stylish to have stains on your clothes. Even acid wash jeans don't look stained. You could tell they're acid wash jeans, but it's like the only thing that you would think somebody spilled on themselves with their acid wash jeans would be bleach. You're like, holy shit, did you spill bleach on yourself? So like, no, man, it's just acid wash jeans, dog. Or peroxide, whatever. Did you do? Oh, no. Don't worry. It's just this. But if you're walking around with tomato sauce on your shirt all the time, or mustard or something, you just look like an asshole. You just look like an idiot. So you can take always messy, unkempt hair and spin it into a style for yourself. All right, let's get into a little news, shall we? Here we go. Oh, we're gonna turn it up. Professionalism here on the Lefty Show. Gonna do a little news. A little bit more than halfway through the show, as it has been over the last couple of weeks. Got a lot to talk about today. Robots replacing fast food workers. A Duke student is suing Duke University over expulsion over a sexual assault allegation. Pope Francis is sizzling, but not showing us a lot of steak. And Cobb County, Georgia, has approved a brand new Braves stadium. We're going to talk about that and why the MLB and the Braves are a bunch of dickheads. LeVar Burton, baby. My man LeVar Burton in the news. Let's talk about that. It's the news on the Lefty Show. LeVar Burton, Reading Rainbow, started a Kickstarter, wants to raise $1 million to bring Reading Rainbow back as a web series. This is from The Wrap. Says LeVar Burton wants to bring back Reading Rainbow for a whole new generation of children. The man who asked us to take a look, it's in a book, is launching a Kickstarter campaign to fundraise $1 million to bring his show back to the web. The popular children's show ran from 1983 to 2006 and continued in reruns until 2009. He also plans on offering a classroom version of the program for teachers and is spearheading a not-for-profit that will give copies of Reading Rainbow away to low-income schools for free. The campaign offers various rewards for donating, including potentially getting to wear his famous Star Trek visor. Holy shit, he's still got that. So let's do this, y'all, Burton said. Together we can create and deliver a proven tool for encouraging the love of reading to millions of children. We can genuinely change the world one children's book at a time. Reading Rainbow is back for every child, everywhere, but you don't have to take my word for it, he said. And it links to the LeVar Burton Kickstarter video. And this is great to see. You know, I loved Reading Rainbow as a child. I was a literate child. I did well in school. But the LeVar Burton show, I remember watching it when I was a kid during the summer when I had summers off. My dad, would be working. He would take me to my grandma and grandpa's house. And would watch a lot of WTTW in Chicago, which is the Channel 11, the public broadcasting station. And Reading Rainbow was, I think it was daily. I don't know. I used to watch a lot of, I loved their whole lineup. There was the Frugal Gourmet. Oh my God, the Frugal Gourmet. I knew dick about cooking, but I loved watching the Frugal Gourmet. I don't know why. I completely misunderstood the word frugal. I didn't know what frugal meant. I was a kid. I thought it had something to do with food. Later, I learned that he was just a cheap bastard, and he would it was just making meals on the cheap. But I loved watching that. Oh God, what Sesame Street and oh, God, what was the name of the fucking with the... Oh, damn it. Brain fart. I'll pull it up here. oh man, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. There it is, and Reading Rainbow was a part of that, and it brings back a lot of memories. It was really nice, and just the way LeVar Burton did the show, Reading Rainbow, when it was on the air, when I was watching it in the early to mid 90s. It was really accessible to many children, and it really, I don't want to say it overtly. It was like, oh my God, reading is so cool. It didn't make reading so cool for me. It was just a positive reinforcement on reading. And here was a guy, and as I was growing up, you know, I was a little bit older, but my dad would watch Star Trek: The Next Generation on TV when we were eating dinner. And I would watch it too. And then I would reckon, oh man, that's the guy from Reading Rainbow. He said, yeah. And I loved Star Trek. I loved as a kid. I still do, but I was in awe of Star Trek: The Next Generation and the science and stuff. I mean, again, I didn't know it was all bullshit. My dad kind of played along for a bit to kind of, because he thought it was. I'm guessing he figured, hey, if the kid is getting involved in science and he thinks it's cool, let him believe there's a warp core or warp drive or whatever, you know, subspace transmissions. Who gives a fuck as long as he thinks science is cool? And LeVar Burton played Geordie LaForge, the engineer on the Starship Enterprise, and so he was the science guy, right? His whole role was bullshit science. And so I would go back, and when I would see him on Reading Rainbow, I was like, oh, the science guy from Star Trek says reading is cool. And it was just a really cool, positive reinforcement of reading. And you know, it doesn't matter. Reading fiction, reading this, fantasy, whatever the fuck, doesn't matter. Reading is cool, and it's good to see LeVar Burton trying to bring back Reading Rainbow as a web series. I'll probably link the Kickstarter campaign in the description. So if you want to go check it out, it's kickstarter.com/projects/reading rainbow or kickstarter.com/reading rainbow. I'm sure that'll work too. But I will link it in the description if you want to go. If you're a fan of Reading Rainbow like I am, and you want to go help out LeVar Burton and Reading Rainbow. You know what, LeVar Burton, I gotta hand it to you. If this is a recent photo, LeVar, if you're watching this, right? Regular viewer or listener of the Lefty Show. If you're watching this, holy shit, already raised almost $390,000 the Kickstarter has. Good for you, LeVar Burton. Woo, go everybody. Over 8,000 backers, almost 8,500 backers right now. Let's see if you guys can get into it before there's 10,000. Actually, render and upload time, maybe not. But link in the description. But anyway, LeVar Burton aged pretty well. LeVar Burton. I mean, I'm staring at the picture now. I'm assuming it's recent. And he looks like pretty much exactly the same as I remember him from my childhood when I would see him on both Star Trek: The Next Generation and later the Star Trek: The Next Generation series of movies, feature films, and Reading Rainbow. So you know what? Whatever you're doing, LeVar Burton, obviously a little bit more salt and pepper in the hair, or a little bit more salt in the hair, but you know, good for you, LeVar Burton. Way to keep up that anti-aging regimen, whatever it is, it's working. So yeah, basically, there's more than 8,500 backers now. So you guys are probably not going to get in the first 10,000, but you can help LeVar Burton on his road to $1 million to bring back Reading Rainbow. I'll watch it. Who isn't going to watch at least one episode of the new Reading Rainbow? Right? I mean, who cares? It's children's books. Don't care. It's fucking Reading Rainbow. Totally all about that. So you can help out Reading Rainbow. If you also want to help out the Lefty Show, if you're feeling generous, you can go to imraising.com/643 Productions. That's imraising.com/643 Productions. Below the Kickstarter, Reading Rainbow Kickstarter link will be the I'm Raising link. If you want to help out the show, the Lefty Show, you can donate there. So you can get Reading Rainbow to $1 million and the Lefty Show to $1 million. It'd be great, right? Is that the plan? That's the plan, I guess, I suppose. Okay. Now, a little bit of sad news. Maya Angelou was found dead today. She age of 86, renowned black poet and author, And she gave the recitation. She recited a few of her poems at Bill Clinton's inauguration, many speeches for President Barack Obama, much renowned in her work in American literature and in poetry. And she is dead at the age of 86. Maya Angelou. Now I googled Maya Angelou, and this is how quickly you can form some bullshit in your head. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna be laid bare on the altar here for a bit. just to evidence to you how quickly your brain can form bullshit, and how quickly you'd be like, oh shit, that's some bullshit right there. So I saw on Reddit Maya Angelou had died, and it sounded familiar, and I'm like, Maya Angelou, what did she write? I don't really remember. I know a great American created great American literary works and poems and all that stuff. And so I Googled Maya Angelou. And the cool thing about Google is now that if you Google search a famous person's name and they've got a Wikipedia entry, sometimes in the top right-hand corner of the first Google search result will be a little excerpt from their Wikipedia entry with the highlights, right? Renowned for this, age, born, la la la. So Google Maya Angelou. Let's see if it still shows up. I'll do it right now. And here it is in the top right hand. It's not actually the top right hand corner. It's like in the center column because there's a whole right column that isn't used for some reason. Maya Angelou, right here it is. Maya Angelou is an American author and poet. She has published 7 autobiographies, 3 books of essays, and several books of poetry, and is credited with a list of plays, movies, and television shows spanning more than 50 years. And that's Maya Angelou, right? That's just a quick take on Maya Angelou, dead today at 86. I don't know exactly where, but so a sad day. And I'm like, what stuck out to me, she has published 7 autobiographies, and without knowing anything else. Okay, again, remember, this is a lesson on how quickly your brain, if unchecked, can form bullshit and turn something into bullshit. And then I thought, 7 autobiographies, huh? Seems like a lot for somebody that not necessarily painted as humble, but just has a humble air about them, right? The President Barack Obama in 2011 awarded her the Medal of Freedom, and all these awards, great literary works, all this stuff. 7 autobiographies, huh? And my brain immediately went, wow, she's pretty high and mighty on herself, Maya Angelou was. I don't know how I feel about her now. Great work, sure. But when you write 7 books that are basically, look at me, all about me, oh, man. That's not, now, again, before you type your comments, trust me, I am walking you through the bullshit that my brain formed, okay? All right, so don't get angry at me. I'm not actually saying that Maya Angelou was full of herself and wrote to the tune of 7 autobiographies about herself, about how great she was, because I was not familiar with this aspect of her work. A whole idea, one of the core ideals in Maya Angelou's works, at least in her literary works, was to challenge the notion of what is and is not an autobiography, to use biographical and fiction, nonfiction and fiction information to create a narrative. And she blurred the line between autobiographical and fictional. And as a result, they classified many of her books as autobiographical, even though they really weren't. Maya Angelou, upon further review, right? I went under the hood, did a little. Oh, God damn it! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that was so unintentional. Oh my God. No, I did not say that. Oh, God damn it. Oh, I'm leaving it in. Fuck. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Oh, sweet jumping Jesus. I'm sorry. Anyway, upon further review, Maya Angelou was not self-centered and writing many works of autobiography about herself, but was actually challenging notions about what is and is not. Challenging literary framework, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. Damn it, I can't. Son of a bitch. I didn't mean it like that. Okay? I know somebody's going to make a racist Lefty joke, but I think somebody might actually be stupid enough to be like, that was no, it was completely unintentional. I was making a reference to the NFL when the referees, I've got to explain this. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you get it and you get the joke and you're all laughing and you think I'm killing the joke by explaining it. But trust me, I have to explain this for at least one person out there. I need to explain this, okay? I need to. In the NFL, the National Football League, when the referees review a play, it is up to the head referee to do the reviewing. Many other sports, the review is done by elsewhere. It's done off premises by somebody else, and they just wire it into the officials and say, this is the call. This is the correct call. But in the NFL, the head referee does it, and there's a little contraption with a video screen that the referee can go under, and it's like because NFL games are primarily played during the day, high noon usually. There's a lot of sun, there's a lot of glare. There would be a lot of glare on a computer screen, on any kind of monitor that you have. So they developed a little contraption with I'm believing some kind of nylon or mylar or whatever, some kind of a hood over it, and the common colloquialism, well, I guess that's redundant. The colloquialism is the referee is going under the hood, meaning he's getting under the shielding or the shrouding to look at the monitor to do the reviewing. And that was my intent with the joke. Or it wasn't even a joke. It was just a euphemism, and it had a whole bunch of unintended consequences, especially the subject matter of Maya Angelou. Did not intend it. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But that raises an important question in my mind. Let's see. How do I say this? Because I'm of the mind that you have racist thoughts and you have racism. Racism are acts. Racist, or being a racist, is completely theoretical. It's completely inward. You have racist thoughts if you believe that people of a different ethnicity or race are inferior by their very nature of being different from you. That is a racist thought. Backwards and archaic, sure. Inherently wrong. In terms of is it morally wrong to have that in your head? No, because if you say it's morally wrong to think that, then you're thought policing, and that's wrong. However, when your racist internalizations become external, when you point them outward and you start committing acts based on your racist ideologies, then you are a committer of racism, and that is wrong. That is objectively wrong, and as well as morally wrong, because and the way I make it work is intent. When you commit racism, you have intent, and that intent is arbitrary. You dislike black people, white people, Mexican people, Asian people, whatever, Hispanic people, whatever. Your act against them, your intent is arbitrary, and I believe capricious. Let me look that up. This is expanding your vocabulary. Lefty. Given to sudden and uncomfortable changes of mood or behavior. So no, not capricious, but it's arbitrary. It's, there's the other person could not otherwise avoid your ire because they, what the fuck, man? I can't change the color of my skin unless I'm Michael Jackson, but I can't do it. So what the fuck, man? That's what makes it wrong. When you act and you have the intent, that is what makes it legally and morally wrong. But, well, legally, I'm against hate crimes laws. I think it's a violation of equal protection. But anyway, my question is, a lot of people, while we're talking about Maya Angelou, probably many people in the black community are very quick to go to racism. They say that's racist and racism, and they don't. I differentiate the two just to keep it clear in my head. Other people use racist and racism interchangeably, and that muddies the waters a bit. But my question is, or my thought is, shouldn't the intent matter? Shouldn't the intent of the act, of the word usage, of the verbiage, shouldn't that matter in terms of when you're going to call somebody, or verbiage, excuse me. Shouldn't it matter if you intended, like, if there's a black guy and a white guy, I'm a white business owner, and there's a black guy and a white guy going for the one position, and I hire the white guy, right? And it would be easy in that sense for the black guy to say that's racist. You just committed an act of racism upon me. And I say, no, it was not my intent to be racist. It was not my intent. First of all, I don't even have that in my head. And thus it is impossible for me to have a racist or an intent to commit racism. I hired the white guy because he's better at the job than you, or more, or cheaper. I can hire him on the cheap or something. Whatever it is, shouldn't intent matter rather than just the objective reality of have or have not, yes or no, black or white? Because if we're going to just go on, you know, if you don't get a job and you are black, if you go up for a job and you don't get it and you are black, if we're just going with have or have not, if we're just going with that reasoning for determining racist acts or racism, well, then every time a black guy or any kind of minority goes out for a job and doesn't get it, then that employer is racist or has committed racism. And that doesn't make any sense. Intent should matter. And talking about intent, that makes use of the N-bomb, or, well, I'll just say it, nigger. It makes it easier. It makes it easier it makes the usage of the word so crystal clear, right? Because to say, for black people to say that's our word, well, that's racist. Because you are intending to preclude me from saying it because of an arbitrary reason, the color of my skin. I can't change the color of my skin. If I could change the color of my skin right before I said my nigga, I would, but I can't. So blah. So it's arbitrary, man. That's racist. But if the intent is to demean somebody with the word, when you hang a hard R and you intend to just cut to the core of that human to try to hurt them, well, then you just hurled a racial epithet at somebody, and that's wrong. And you're a dick. That's not cool. But if you're just like, what's up? That great scene, that prolific scene from Rush Hour. It's a prolific scene. I hope everybody goes back to watch it. For some reason, that director gets shit on a lot, but I love that scene where Jackie Chan is in, I believe, probably somewhere in L.A. There's all black guys in this billiard hall, and he goes to after seeing Chris Tucker being a recent Chinese emigre, sees Chris Tucker go up to everybody who is black and all the other black people in the place and go, "What's up, my nigga? What's up, blah, 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 blah," right? So Jackie Chan sits down at the bar, "What's up, my nigga?" And he gets it, and then a really cool fight scene ensues, et cetera, et cetera. But in that scene, I say it's prolific because in that scene, Jackie Chan did not intend to use a racially charged word to hurt anybody. He had observed, and that's how they grew. Okay, hello. He was trying to say, his intent was to say hello, not to, you are less of a person, you are inferior to me because of the color of your skin, or all these things, all this Uncle Tom shit, you know, that's it, or Jim Crow, whatever. He didn't mean any of that. His intent was to say hello. So to me, the intent of the word is what makes its usage acceptable. And it's that simple. It is that simple. That's why intent is, to me, such a beautiful thing, because it cuts through all the bullshit. Shouldn't matter the color of my skin. If I want to say a word, I'm going to say it. Now, if I use it to try to hurt you, to try to demean you and belittle you, and I'm actually actively trying to do that, my intent in usage of the word is clear, and my usage is wrong and bad. But if my intent is to not do that, well, and now we're speaking morally here, not in the strict legal sense. In the legal sense, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want, and fuck you if you don't like it. That's it. First rule in our big club, our big ass club that we got going on here. The first rule number 1 is I got to say what I want. That's it. Well, of course, you know, you can when and where and degree and all that stuff, because I can't shout fire in a crowded theater and claim free speech. But absent stuff like that, absent malice, great movie. I can say what I want. But in terms of morally, ethically, if I want to use a word, the intent is what matters. And, you know, suffice it to say, I'm a big guy. The Washington Redskins, I think that's a bad name. That identifies negatively with a whole lot of Native Americans, right? That is if I tried to start an NFL team with the name the Niggers, that's what it would be. That is the exact equivalent. 1-to-1. That is a 1-to-1 thing. 1-to-1 ratio. How would that fly? Not well, right? But let's talk about intent. Is the intent of the word, is the intent of the usage racially charged? Is it intended to demean people? Well, now, not really. I don't think it really is intended to demean Native Americans and humiliate them, whatever. Originally, it was. Originally, the guy who thought up the name Redskins was a racist and a committer of racism, documented. And the intent of Redskins was racist, and it was an intended usage that was meant to, you know, be like a meh, meh, meh. And that's wrong. Now, now that's a whole discussion about, well, can intent change over time? Blah blah blah. You know, Redskins was originally implicated with ill intent, but now it's clearly not, because if Dan Snyder got in front and said, yeah, these fucking Redskins and all their goddamn casinos, sons of bitches, well, then it's clear. But he doesn't, because that would be bad for business. He's doing it because he's got a brand that everybody identifies in, and he doesn't want to give it up. And I think on that thing, dude, you own an NFL team, you're going to make hundreds of millions of dollars anyway. You're good in changing the name. It's cool. The argument of I'm going to lose this brand in my huge business is bullshit. You can change the brand and you'll still be fine because you're in the motherfucking NFL. You're okay. You're good. You're all good. So that's why I think intent matters a whole lot when you're talking about everything, really, but in this specific case, about racism. Let's wrap it up. One last topic. This is from the Pope. In Pope news today, NBC News says, Pope Francis said, doors always open to rethink priestly celibacy, the practice of making priests in the Catholic Church remain celibate. The argument goes, you're making males ignore a primal urge, one of many primal urges, but probably the primal urge in sexual activity, and you're making men ignore that. And the question is that a good idea? Does that lead to them popping little boys? Because if it does, then the answer should be pretty fucking obvious. But here's my point. Fresh off back, this is from the article, fresh off back his historic trip to the Middle East, the pontiff delved into, oh, and by the way, for anybody that's butthurt, if the Pope keeps talking, I'm going to keep fucking responding. You don't like it? Don't watch. Fresh off the back of his historic trip to the Middle East, the pontiff delved into one of the core Catholic Church rules by declaring it is, quote, not dogma that clergy members abstain from sex. It is a rule of life that I appreciate very much, and I think it is a gift for the church, Francis told reporters aboard a plane returning to the Vatican. But since it's not a dogma, the door is always open, right? And everybody's lauding the Pope. Pope Francis, oh my God! Yay! Super Pope! Woo, Super Pope! Da, 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 Super Pope! And everybody's crazy, right? Oh my goodness, oh, he's da, da, da. He didn't fucking do anything. Okay? If you see, and now I'm not angry over this, I want everybody out there who's similar minded to me and who agrees with all these stupid little rants I have. If you see somebody going, Pope Francis, oh my God, Pope Francis, the greatest Pope fucking ever, man. He hasn't fucking done a goddamn thing. Not one fucking thing. Even this. Oh my God, the Pope says the door is always open to rethink celibacy. Mother of fucking Christ. He fucking did it. Oh my God. No. What did he say? What did he essentially do? Okay, let's remove the words. What did he essentially do? Somebody came out to him and said, Pope, would you even possibly rethink the church's stance on having priests remain celibate just in case that leads to them popping little boys? And what did he do? He went, meh. Yeah, I guess. Sure. Kinda, maybe. He did the palms up, shoulder shrug. Meh. I guess. That's it. He didn't do a fucking thing. Okay? No love for this Pope until he does something. No fucking love. Do something, and then we'll talk about it. Do something, and then you'll earn one stitch of that S on your chest, Francis, you bitch. But until then, you're just some guy who spins people's heads because you're an incredibly smart individual, incredibly intelligent, I'm sure, because he's able to spin idiot reporters into thinking he's actually doing something when all he's saying is, meh, maybe, I guess. It's bullshit. This Pope is a fucking fraud until he does a single goddamn thing. But he hasn't done one. He hasn't done anything. Nothing. Not worthy of all the love heaped upon him because all he does is talk. All he does is go, meh. Essentially, look at everything he said. Every huge, every momentous, monumental thing he said about homosexuality, condoms in Africa, or contraception, or now priestly celibacy. Everything he said can be boiled down to, hey, Pope, do you think this would be a good idea to change the church's stance to better society? And he goes, meh. And that's it. And everybody, oh my God, he said meh. Oh my God. Ah, Pope, Super Pope. Fuck this Pope. He's a fucking fraud. Let's bring it home, baby. Woo, the Lefty Show. Another great show. Hope all of you have stuck around. I really do enjoy putting on a great show for you people. I hope all of you enjoy. Thank you to everybody who's been watching, liking, and favoriting, and subscribing on YouTube. I really do enjoy putting on a good show for you. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you to everybody that's been donating. I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. Link in the description. You want to help out with studio expenses, hosting costs. Go to I'mRaising.com/643 Productions. Another Lefty Show. That's not why you called tomorrow. I'll see you guys next time. That's my time. I got to get out of here. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'm out. Bye.
Pour some sugar